Donnie Houston.
Baby boy.
What's going on, my man? How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling, just over here playing some of these classics, man.
I see you. I hear you over there jamming, man. I like that.
Yeah, for sure, man. How you making it through everything that's going on with the corona and everything, man?
Quarantine got cats like going stir crazy, but you know, kind of had quarantine life anyway. It was always in the studio and all that, so you know, that ain't much different, I don't think.
Yeah. That's what's up, man. Well, let's get into it, man. Man, I was watching Breakin earlier, man.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. So is that
there?
Yeah, is that kind of where it starts for you?
Actually, no, but Breakin is like the funny thing is the Breaking is the beginning of the end of something else. So the movie was about a club. That club basically started hip hop in LA. Like NWA and all that was happening across town. That's right. Skills said club radio. So this club was such a phenomenon in the movement that it used to be imagine a club that had a line like Star Wars. You know what I'm saying? 5 people deep and wrapped around the block. And it was 13 years old to get in. And, no alcohol, no age limit, no fighting, no nothing. It was always.
So it wasn't a teen club. It was just, you could
it
be
was
that
just,
young to get in.
Yeah, you didn't have to. It was no age limit, really. If you could get here, you could get in. It was people. You could bring your own alcohol if you could get it in, you know. They didn't trip, but it was not that kind of thing. It was a music happening. So people, we didn't want to cut the age and say you couldn't come. If you can get out the house, you're better off here than in the street.
Yeah.
So I met a lot of young guys that have done well for their lives now when they were kids doing that. But so it really started, I'd say, there, and the movie glorified that. So let's just say, yeah, that's kind of the beginning. But I do have pre-breaking things that actually got me in the movie. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, let's talk a little bit about that. This is DJing or what?
Yeah, well, see, that's the cool thing about breaking is that all of this stuff around that is DJ accomplishments. It's not production at all. So I used to DJ, like, for instance, Breaking happened around the time of one of the Uncle Jam Army parties at the sports arena. You know, it was a lot going on in LA at the same time that is coming up. You know, now these parties, we were playing some rap music, but not much. It wasn't much out in 83, 84. You had Run DMC and you had Beastie Boys and a lot of electro and other stuff, but a lot of
early.
Right. So it was funk records. It was Kraftwerk. Rest in peace to Florian. You know, he passed today, Kraftwerk founder. It was groups like that we had access to and played. So what we did was me DJing at Capri Club Picnic, 1,000 people, Uncle Jam Army. I'm just coming out and I'm hitting these big festival type gatherings.
The spots.
And I'm, you know, I'm not whack. So people are like, okay, cool. He's, you know, and I'm doing something that the other DJs ain't doing. They playing records. I come up and people start watching. Like, what is he doing? How is he doing that? Because, you know, in 84, 83, it was a spectacle. I mean, I was in a movie doing it. So think about things you see in a movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. I always tell people, well, they made a movie about it. That means it was serious.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. I've had people come on my podcast and talk about, you know, they would hear scratching, but the first time they actually saw it was in Breakin.
See what I mean? So that's important, you know, because a lot of those people needed to see that so they could go on and become these zillionaires that they are. Like Eminem, shout out to him. He heard Reckless and says to me that started his journey on rap, period. And look at where he is now on his journey. Sold over 50 million albums. Thank you, Eminem, for listening to my record. I didn't get no money, but the world got him.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So it's Ice-T doing his thing on the underground scene around the same time, and y'all just kind of meet at the movie, or did y'all meet before that?
Okay, so that's a dope question. So the way radio was, I'll even wrap in the way I got my name in this story real quick. So radio was a happening, a musical thing. It was new, maybe a couple of weeks, and my buddy, who I used to get equipment for to be able to afford to give parties with my friends, I would work it off. So I used to deliver stuff to different clubs, and I delivered to this place. And then he said, "Man, I think you need to go here. They got something like what you do with the records, the scratching. Check this out." So I went there, delivered the speakers. They asked me, one of the owners, Alex and KK, actually the two owners came up to me and said, "Hey, we heard you DJ." I was like, "Yeah, I DJ." And they was like, "Okay, well, what's your DJ name?" And I was like, "DJ Chris." And they were like,
That's not cool enough.
"Nah." So they said, "Look, you come back at 11 and play." It was like an audition almost, but they said, when you come back, we'll have a DJ name for you. So I said, "Okay, I'll be here at 11. They really wasn't an audition. It was like, "You come DJ," because it wasn't in LA. They needed to see if I could do what they could see in New York. Like, they never seen that. So I come, and there was a group there already, Shake City Rockers. Shout out to DJ Chevy Shank and Suave in the Shake City. They were already there. And that was the first guys I ever saw doing what I did, pretty much, scratching and stuff in person. It was no YouTube. So I go on radio, 11. There's a sign up saying who's lineup, Shake City, DJs, blah, blah, blah. I said the Glove at 11. So I was like, I'm here at 11. I guess that's me. So I started DJing at 11. I was the Glove from that moment.
Huh.
So from that name, I walk in the club, I see, so radio was more like, if you saw Purple Rain, radio was more like the club in Purple Rain than a hip hop club. We had a master of ceremonies. Ice-T was always on the mic saying something, whether you had to move your car, whether you was breakdancing too close to the stage, somebody broke some shit, the DJs is rocking, I'm about to rap. He always was going. He was the MC. So I came in as like the band. The DJs were the band. So he and I came at 11. So we started working together. Like, I'm not his DJ and he's not my rapper, but we made some songs together.
Yeah.
So when we got together, his underground presence was that club and parties in the street. And then he had done a record called Cold Wind Madness right around that time. He had a record. He made the record while he was working at radio. He was rapping the record live. He would rap that verse. I mean, live every week. And it was dope every week, I mean, he was always tight. Ice-T, man, he is a consummate professional. But this is another thing about that spot. See, radio was the kind of spot where, like, me and Ice, we kind of got this persona of bigger than life in our minds. Like, we think we're dope, Which any artist out there, bro, believe in yourself, man, more than anybody, bro. Only person, no, I don't care how much you believe in yourself, your mama believes in you more. I don't care what you think. You think you're a god? Ask your mama. She gonna tell you, yes, son, you're a god. I had you. So believe in yourself, bro. If you think you're a superstar, damn it, get in a movie and be a DJ when you ain't never seen it before in your life. Okay? So back to this. I'm believing in myself. We got these egos, but there was a reason. When we performed, there wasn't regular folks in the crowd. It was Prince, Michael Jackson, Sting, different types of bands, Madonna. Madonna asked us to get on stage. She was new. So this is our spot. We was like the time in Purple Rain. We was like, yo, you want to do what? You want to get on our stage? Can you spin on your head? Of who was watching us. I truly believe that.
Yeah. My bad. I got a phone call in there. Pause. So
Man, that should always happen, don't it?
Man.
We got to tell these folks.
I'm on live, man. Don't call me.
I be doing that shit all the time. Like, yo, I'm on live. Look, I even got 2 damn phones for that. And they always tend to call the other one that's on live.
Yeah. But no, we were talking about the club and so Madonna and everything, and so y'all were kind of looking at her like, this is our club, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no, that's why
Madonna, but she's still new, so it's not really,
It was a happening.
Yeah.
So they were there to see. People were intrigued to just show up and get the vibe. It was like a mecca, bro. I mean, I'm telling you, the people that were in here in the room watching us, you know, Rapper Dapper Snapper, General Kane, these cats are regular people that come to radio, man. Yeah, we the shit. Fuck y'all.
Yeah.
We was on it too, man, and it's still that way. I kept it. Like the funniest thing I get is so funny to me when I'll do a record with someone or something, and they'll say, "Okay, you're the producer," and I'll say, "No, this is my record. I'm the artist." Man, what are you talking about? You're the artist. You producer. Blah blah blah. I'm like, look, man, go look at my first record, Reckless. Read it. It says Chris the Glove Taylor and David Storrs. I'm the artist and the producer, but I'm not a vocalist.
Yeah.
So, you know, people get a little confused, and it's all good, man. What up to Pave the Way Show? My boy DJ Ice in the house right there, shouting out Tony Basil, who probably will pop in. I need to hit up Shabadoo. Let me send him. I'm sending out invites to people while we on this. That's why I probably look like I'm reading.
So man, okay. After Ice-T, because you kind of leave hip hop alone after that, right?
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing. So as I said earlier, I was doing a thing. I was a DJ. So the DJ is the original B-boy. You can have a lecture and an interview and all of that with all of the elements of hip hop, but without music, it ain't a party. It's just a group of people doing some stuff. You bring music, if DJ comes show up, oh, it's a party. So being a B-boy with DJs being the original B-boy, that's why most guys shouted out to DJ in their first rhymes, because they knew where it was coming. They were giving homage then. They stopped, but most of these masters of ceremonies, they knew, like, look, this dude over, you see, they get a band some, y'all. He trying to get a girl tonight, too. You know, that's the band. He trying to meet his wife. They know what it's about. We do all of this stuff to get out there, and we really doing it just to be doing it. Money is cool, but, you know, we all on a move. So it's about keeping populace on earth. We can't help it. So I digress back into what I was saying. So, since we were feeling that way and allowing people to come into our world, and in the movie, you know, we just kind of felt like hip hop is our thing, bro. We still feel that way, especially for me. I mean, I know a lot of guys who made records and stuff, but I only know a few that was doing it before, you know, not that many.
Yeah. No, so you were saying, so after the Ice-T thing, so you go to DJing and everything.
Oh yeah.
How do you meet Dr. Dre? Are you meeting Dr. Dre as a DJ, or how does it work out? Okay,
so what happens is I'm doing the hip hop and all that, and then, you know, the pinnacle of the movie, and then I'm like, I'm out. We made a movie. I got a grip of money. I'm trying to make R&B because Babyface and all them is getting paid, bro. R&B budgets are $300,000. As a matter of fact, what's happening is, as I'm doing scratching, the guys calling me to play on the records are all R&B, no rappers. I'm getting paid. I'm going in these big studios. The first time I saw SSL was when I went in the studio on a Bobby Brown project. And I'm like, Bobby Brown? You know, we think of them as...
Which was this his first album, or was this Don't Be Cruel?
No, I'm sorry, Bobby Brown. It was New Edition.
Okay.
So it was, I walked in there, Lil Silas was working on something with New Edition. I said, Bobby Brown, that is a few years later. New Edition, Candy Girl around then was like 83, right? Yeah. So I saw this board and I'm like, these cats, yeah, I'm going to do this. Rap ain't making no money. Their budget is $100,000. You know, the New Music Seminar wanted me to come, but they couldn't even give me a plane ticket. So I was like, hip hop is cool and fun, but it ain't no money. Yeah. So I went in R&B, started doing all of these things, but a lot of hip hop followed me. Like all the R&B guys wanted to be hip hop. So I was getting calls from Benny Medina, you know, Barry Gordy's son, Kerry, and people over at Joe Isgro. You know, I'm getting called A&M Records. I'm getting these calls from record companies, and I'm a DJ. I play records, so I'm like, I get to be on a record, right? Yeah. So move a step forward. I'm doing the clubs. We do Breakin, we do Reckless. I get to do that, and that's how I started, by creating that music for the scenes in the film, and then the scratching from the additional dialogue in the moves, then they ask for a rap record. So after I do this, I go, oh yeah, no, I'm doing R&B. So that's what I was doing during that, was DJing on records. Then I started producing an R&B band. And in the midst of producing that band, it was to be like BBD and Jodeci. I met Dr. Dre through my boy David Jaquette, who people tend to leave out. He done introduced a lot of people in hip hop. Shout out to Dave. He brings Dr. Dre to my front door. I meet him. This is NWA in between the two albums, so he's a star. This dude come walking up saying, man, I need to blah, blah, blah. I want an R&B group. I'm like, I'm the guy. He signs me to Ruthless Records.
So his intention for meeting you was to get an R&B group. That's what he was looking for.
His intention was to get, he told me directly, I want a producer that can do what I do, meaning more than just play music, but like finish the record, like mix and all that. Can right. You made a record, you made Reckless. So you know how to make a record. So can you do that? And I was like, hell yeah. So he signed me. Then I had a group that, you know, I got a writer. I got this group. Sign my group and I'll come. Sign my group, paid me, and we started from there. But my whole intention was to work with Dr. Dre as his ghost producer. He never said that he wanted that, but I just figured I'm just going to be in here and whatever comes, comes.
Yeah. So what's the first thing y'all work on together?
Ooh, shit. The first thing my brother Dr. Dre and I worked on together was a remix for one of the songs on my album called Funky Vibe. He came in and rapped, and that's when I discovered that, you know, I could work with another producer because I had never done that, you know. So that song, I got him to do, you know, we worked on my project a lot. He came in, he signed the group and said, fuck it, we're going to release him. He spent, you know, a couple $100,000 to get the group, him and Easy. So he's working with me every day up at the studio working on that and doing Michelet at the same time. So her record came out, we're still in the studio. So after that, he starts working on 100 Miles and Running was that EP they did in between. So he starts on 100 Miles and Running, and then the second, I think it's Niggas for Life was the second one. Yeah, I think. Straight Outta Compton's the first one. Niggas for Life.
Niggas for Life was the second one. Yeah.
So yeah, he was working on starting to work on Niggas for Life, and so you know I'm starting to, you know, I'm like, hey, what's up with that stuff? And so I'm starting to assist with the work he's doing, and the next thing I know, I find myself in the studio with him after the 100 Miles and Running and Niggas for Life records are done. We're working on a project. We're just making songs. Come to find out through his relationship and learning of things with my contract through Ruthless and some other dealings to my boy Dave, kind of find out he wasn't quite happy with his situation with Easy and Ruthless. And so he decides to leave. And the songs we were working on became songs on the Chronic, you know.
So y'all were already starting the G-Funk sound back then?
Yeah, before some people who want to lay claim to the sound or the name, they weren't even around. I'm going to tell you. So Dre was working on Niggas for Life. He had just finished Always Into Something and some of that stuff, and we were still sampling. And I was talking to him during the mix because I actually took Dre and showed him the SSL first. Like I saw it, I took him, and he was like, I love this, I'm never leaving. I was mixing my song in there, the same Funky Vibe, and it was at Can-Am. And so after that, you know, he bought Can-Am basically for Death Row later on, but that was a studio that I took him to. A lot of people don't know it's more than just production is a lot. It's not just making music. It's getting a guy's head in the right space to make the music the world needs to hear. So not coaching, but just being there to be assisting. Like he was like, I'm trying to get this sound. And I'll be like, well, instead of sampling those instruments, look at Doobie. Instead of sampling the stuff, why don't we just play those things? Why don't we call Johnny Guitar Watson to come play? And he was thinking probably that in his heart, but I'm voicing it because I'm the guy that's going to say what you're thinking because I'm not scared. I can look like a dummy. I don't mind. Dre cool. I ain't cool. So, or I don't want to be cool. I'm just me. I end up being cool. That's cool. So anyway, here's these instruments, the Mini Moog, the Fender Rhodes, the ARP Odyssey. We got all this stuff in the studio I'm working at. Shout out to my boy Jeff, who owned that spot. And so we start working on some stuff for John Singleton for that soundtrack, and that's where the G-Funk sound kind of started being heard about. Thank you, Emilio. That's where the G-Funk sound started to, you know, develop more. I mean, For instance, let's go back to Natural Born Killers. This is during the Ruthless time. So Dre and I, okay, so now this is going to cross over 2 record companies. During the time when we were with Ruthless and then met Jimmy Iovine and became part of Interscope, Dre had this thing with Doc. He wanted to do something. So over this time of a few months, we left that place, you know, your ideas, whatever. We get back over here, we do the deal with Jimmy, and Jimmy himself takes us to the house where the Manson murders were, the Tate LaBianca murders. We go up there. He's like, man, I want to take you guys somewhere. So Dre's like, okay, come on, roll with me, man. We're going with Jimmy. We're going to go up here to where Manson killed them people. I'm like, what? We going to the house on Cielo Drive? Because I read everything. So I'm like, This is where we going? Why are we going there? He said, because my boy Trent, 9 Inch Nails, he's rented the house and he got a studio in there. So we go up to the house where all these people got killed, right? 6 people were murdered in this house.
Right.
6 people were murdered in this house. I know you heard me. That's for everybody else. So I'm in this house, right? Everybody's talking, they're yucking it up, and I'm standing in the corner looking at these. So I saw the movie, Helter Skelter. So I'm looking at this. It's like a door like this, right? Yeah. I'm looking at that door, like, is that where they painted pig in blood? So I'm thinking that, right? So remember me, right? I'm not trying to be cool. So I blurted it out. Hey, man, is this where they painted pig in blood? And then Trent was talking to Jimmy and Dre over there. They doing business. I'm over here fucking it up by saying that. Right? So I said, and then he stopped everything like, yo, you know what happened here? And then he goes into the whole thing. He stopped talking to them and starts showing us all the places where the bodies were and everything, right? And so we in this house going, what the fuck, bro? They really killed these people. And he's like, yeah, I get the vibe from here so that I could do my shit. And so I'm like, whoa, okay. So we leave and we go to the house and we watch Helter Skelter like 1,000 times, do Natural Born Killers. The music was for his movie, Helter Skelter. It wasn't for the movie Natural Born Killer. But throughout the inner working of trying to hook up and do the shit with Cube, this movie came up. There's a couple $100,000 in the face. What you gonna do? Right. So the funny thing is that's kind of where these transitional things are between Death Row and Ruthless, right? So once we got over at Death Row, which was founded and started by Dr. Dre and the DOC. Those 2 men took their money from their publishing deal. They got $1 million deal. And they took that money and started Death Row Records, bro. And I just hate that my boy DOC don't get, he was like, it's like if Russell Simmons had a partner and he never existed, you never heard of him. Like,
that's what I was gonna ask, man, because I had heard that, initially it was a Dr. Dre and DOC thing, and then I guess Suge or whatever happened, you know what I mean? When they went to Interscope, DOC kind of got X'd out or something like that.
That's a good, yeah, I'll roll with that. I mean, basically, yeah, I sat in the car, bro. They went to Sony. I was in the back seat. Like, me and Dre would hook up in the morning and go do shit every day. It's, hey, Bob, we got to go by here. You got to shoot by a meeting. Okay, cool. It's a meeting for that. I'm sitting there like, damn, these dudes is talking. Just like when we got over there before we got with Interscope, it was Dick Griffey who was schooling us. Dick Griffey taught me and Dre and Suge in a classroom setting, 3 chairs, like desks, about ownership of masters. I'll get to Harry O skills, about ownership of owning your own business and how to beat people on contracts, basically, because he showed me a contract that had all kind of packaging shit in it that we don't even do packaging no more. And I'm like, I got to pay you all this before I even get some money? And the free goods. Like, I just want to ask you, have you ever returned a CD other than it being broke? Like, you ever take a CD back because it was whack?
Yeah.
You got your money back?
No, they don't. No, they don't take black CDs. No, I don't think so.
Thank you. But in your recording contract, there's 10% held for returns. There's never.
Never a return.
Never a return, bro. I've been asking everybody I know. Like, some people return them when they break, but hey. So I'm gonna tell you, all of that was taught by Dick Griffey, rest in peace. But there is a force that was behind all of this, which was Harry O, who is actually who I signed my contract with. I didn't sign a Death Row agreement. I signed the Godfather Entertainment contract. And I've been a death row producer, so that lets you know who was up in them high ownerships. After, you know, you got Dre, you got Suge, you got Harry-O, David Kenner, they all up in there, you know. So
right. In this early phase, they had some rap a lot artists over there, like like Big Mike and 3-2 and all. Do you remember any of them from that era?
yeah, we tried to run all of them. We connected with Lil J, right? So that's family. So we like was the West Coast version of Rap a Lot for a minute, trying to be. You know, Suge was making alliances, and everybody wanted to work with Dre. So yeah, I actually went out to Rap a Lot and mixed a record for a rapper, CJ Mack, homie of mine. He actually signed with Rap a Lot, and that's where I met Mike Dean back in '84, '85. Mike Dean, who is like basically Kanye West. Most people don't know, but all the Travis Scott, that's Mike Dean's artist, Travis Scott, and he does that music. So, you know, so people know, shout out to Mike Dean. But all us old guys are up in here, you know, house and shit. Nobody knows. It's cool. But anyway, yeah, like I said, it was quite a few of that up there. You know, David Kenner was in there. We had Hank Caldwell. You know, John McClane was one of the people who was supposed to be involved in the beginning, but he kind of was on the Interscope side more, so he couldn't really. Death Row was another label, and so you can't. People like us could get deals and be a VP at Interscope and own a label, but if you was a VP at Interscope and tried to now be a label owner and keep that job, you was having a problem.
Yeah.
So,
but no, we were talking a little bit about the Houston artists that went over there. You were saying y'all were trying to.
Oh yeah. Thank you for keeping me on track.
Yeah.
It was a little bit of that, but not as much as you would think. But this is the funny thing. When we did Above the Rim was when we were doing a lot of the work with some of the Houston guys. And then we went to Houston. And that I think it had a lot to do with us being involved with Houston, because Above the Rim took off so big in Texas, bro. It was one of the biggest things. When I was there, people was driving down the. I'm in LA. I'm used to everybody playing my music in the streets. Not in no place else. I'm hearing cars playing. I'm in Texas hearing Death Row. You know, we was quite territorial back then with our music. We were scared to go to New York. So yeah, we had quite a few Houston connection, Dallas too. Shout out to Erotic D who brought the DLC in them too. But you know, nah, man, if they didn't come out on, it was room. We had K Solo for a while. We had we even did some, as a matter of fact, with Sam Snead, who did the beat for Natural Born Killer with Dre. He was with Eric Sermon and them. He's part of Terror Squad. What up, Brandon? Shout out to Brandon and Sweets. He out there, Brandon, working at the Nug store, sneaking off, getting some little shots. Hey, slang some of them sweets, bro. So yeah, that was our Houston connection, though. Definitely, Donnie.
Yeah. So y'all working on the Chronic, man. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So during that Houston connection, guess who I get to work with? Bushwick Bill.
Yeah.
The song that I know now. When I get to work, what up, Angie? Thanks for linking us. When I get to work with Bushwick, just think this. I'm a DJ, and the hottest record out is this year. Halloween fell on a weekend. Me and Ghetto Boys is trick or treat, and this nigga's in the studio with me.
Yeah.
Right? Now remember, we West Coast artists, we didn't work with nobody but us. So we got Bushwick on there doing it. I produced Stranded on Death Row with Dre and a few others, but he gave me that when he said, "Here, dog, I need you to do this." So it was a great thing just having that flow of an outsider that was an insider with us. Yeah. So yeah, man, we got so much love from the South, bro. That's like, and then Manny Fresh too, on a footnote, he called me and told me himself. He said, "Man, we copy y'all. We from y'all. We slowed y'all shit down. Y'all are our uncles."
Yeah.
So
when y'all did the Chronic, y'all had already moved from Can-Am, and y'all were already at the Death Row Studios by this time when y'all were working on Chronic, or y'all were still at the
Okay, so this is the thing. Can-Am is later. We're in Solar right now. That's our first landing spot with Death Row. We with Dick Griffey. We did all the shit you heard about, all the legends and gunshots and all that. That's all that Solar. Where they also had a legend before then with Babyface and The Deal and all the shit he did. That place was just legend upon legend, because we came in at, you know, kids acting a fool and, you know, gang violence and shit.
Yeah, I came with a whole different type of energy. Yeah, talk a little bit about that, how that energy was around Death Row around that time. Oh, did it have an influence on the music when y'all were in the studio, since that was really like what was going on around you at the time?
Well, you see what it is? It's weird, man. It wasn't that had influence on us. We influenced them. Everybody came to the studio to be around the music. We didn't call them and say, hey, or we didn't go set up in the hood and try to get influenced by them. You see what I mean? Like if you're trying to get an influence from the streets, you go have a party out on the street. But so we were actually influential and not knowing it. People are showing up and hanging out. And so the vibe there was, dude, I mean, Bloods and Crips living together. Like, shit was crazy. Sometimes it would be cool, sometimes not so much. You might come to work and hear, look, bro, I've walked into that place. It was only one way out, the elevator on the 3rd floor. I've seen cats running in that circular kind of area from other guys, meaning them quite harmed, trying to get to the elevator to get out. I've seen this with these. Not talking about it or read about it or heard about it from somebody who likes Death Row and listen to their music. Nah. So the vibe was trippy, bro. Like, for instance, one time my group, Poor Broken Lonely, we were doing the Summer Jam, right? 92.3 the beat. It's like out there in your state, you got a big jam in the summer from a radio station. So we fired up. And so Suge was like, here, you guys, he was our manager. You guys can use the rehearsal, the Death Row rehearsals. We gonna roll it. It was all Death Row, right? Only we were signed to another group, Big Beat, Atlantic, but still we Death Row because of me. So we're up in there rehearsing, and we come to rehearse, and somebody's in there, and so I say, hey, you know, Sugar, we gonna wait. He was like, wait, what? Somebody's in there? This dude goes in there. Whoever was in there never came back. They made the mistake of being there at our time.
Oh man.
So there was some good, when you got a bully that's looking out for you and he's doing the right thing. Like, he's a bully mentality, but he's doing for right. Like, y'all are dogging my boys. I'm going to stand up for them and I'll beat your ass.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. When it turns to I'm going to beat your ass and take your money, it's not so good.
So when did the switch change? Did they come like after the Chronic came and like the success started to open up? Is that when that started to switch from that to that?
Well, I don't think it was I think it was more of where you entered the game. Like, I came in with Dre, so I never really experienced that. You know what I'm saying? I heard the shit talking and all that, but anybody that was signed below a certain level was getting that shit you talking about. Sign here, $5 grand, we gonna whoop your ass, blah, blah, blah. You know, I got 20 grand for signing bonus. I gave it to my group, you know, buy a house. I was cool, but everybody wasn't. And so it was kind of trippy when it was, you know, not good. So what up, Pop Brothers-in-law in the house? Now these cats here, this is my
Jukebox, original Ghetto Boys in here. What's up, Jukebox?
Yeah, shout out to Jukebox. I see that. Original. Look at this, man. You got game, bro. So I'm gonna tell you, man, that was being in the Death Row. I'm gonna go to the vibe. It was heavy danger, but yet joy. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
It was almost like you was in the gang that was the best gang. So you had no fear on the streets. If someone did talk shit, which I'm not a person to talk and pump and all that, but you could just say Death Row and they would just go. It wasn't, unless it was from 60s, and that's my neighborhood, and they wasn't really messing with me, but they was looking for Death Row. They was like, what, Death Row? You with Death Row? Come with us. So, you know, but yeah, man, it was real shit, man. Hey, look, Jukebox know what's up, man, with that shit. I was in Houston during that time. Yeah, man, we kind of got I got off track again, but
so other than Stranded on Death Row, what other records did you work on the Chronic?
Oh, on the Chronic, the whole album, but that was the one that I got for production. But G-Thang, we did that out at Dre's Beach House. That was actually done while we was at Ruthless. Colin Wolf and Justin came out there and we was partying, and G-Thang went down. We sat there and listened to that song 50 times in a row with 500 people in the house. And they was like, play it again. We knew that shit was a hit.
Yeah.
So G-Thang, we did Deep Cover around the same time. Little, you know, all this stuff happened together. Like, we did the soundtrack first. Like, so we were working, some of the songs went to the soundtrack for Deep Cover because it was getting released before the Chronic. So like 187 was supposed to be on the Chronic, you know. but it's put out as that to get that record going and to build a legend. So, you know, working on that. As a matter of fact, when we did that, it was like a sample. Colin was like, Colin, the bass player, and Dre, they were contemplating how they was gonna get that sound, and my ass was like, let's get a fretless bass. Fuck trying to sample it or play it, or you know, that's that thing again. I was telling you, the G funk, we would go get, so that's the key. We would get the material items needed. If you got the tools, you can make the shit. You don't even have to have skill if you got the right tools. You can have a little instructional book and the proper tools and make a car. So, you know, hey, Colin, we should use a fretless. You go buy a fretless bass at Nadine's, go right back up in the Paramount. Because we was going to do a stand-up bass. So Colin was like, no, we should get, I was like, we need a fretless. He was like, we should get this bass because it was a stand-up handheld. Bass cost about $1,000. Dre went up in there and bought that bitch, and we just did that shit. But you see, that's what you got to do.
Right, though. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's the part. Like right here, I'm in one of my rooms in my house, my bedroom. See the bed? This is a bedroom, okay? We don't make records in the bedroom, fellas. We just be in here for the fuck of it. These are labs. You come with concepts and shit. I have never taken a beat I made in my bedroom and put it out as a record. Not one. Maybe one, but it wasn't Phone Tap, Explosive, Hello, Doggy Dog World, Stranded on Death Row, you know, G-Thang, Deep Cover. It wasn't none of them, which are the ones you know. Yeah. So, you know, guys, you know, the bedroom is cool. Let me tell you a quick thing about the studio. When I was coming up, you know how you got these digital delays and echo stuff? You had to go to a studio to get the proper echo chamber because the echo chamber was built in the building. They had 2 microphones in a closet. And based upon what was on the walls of that room or how big or the wood or how many rats was in there, whatever it was, people wanted to go to record plant because to record delay and reverb. People had to go to the Village Recorder to record a certain type of echo. You know, it was the studios, the actual structure. And then it went to the boards. That's why you can't build an echo chamber in this closet over here. You know what I'm saying? I got to put shit in there. It's a house. I got to buy a piece of software. You know, I got to put something in this bitch to make it work. Oh, shout out to Egyptian Lover. My little laptop. So, yeah, man, you know, I feel like that. I didn't get off topic that time, I believe.
Right, let's get my boy Mark Burge in. Okay, so all right, so talk about a young Snoop Dogg, man, and then y'all working on Doggy Style.
Ooh, so we met Snoop, man. I'm gonna tell you, Dre and I had like a bachelor party, co-bachelor party together, and at this party, Warren G brings Nate and Snoop to this party, and Snoop jump up on the table and start rapping. They put in a cassette, and they start busting. Me and Dre looking at each other like, this dude's the truth. I mean, because nobody in LA could do that, like rap like that. They was all like Cube, and our guys here are more like telling it like it is rappers. And they back then there were different types, like newscasters and just the kind of just talk like, you know, today was a good day. I went and did this. I went and did that. What up, Sneak? Shout out to RB Sneak. I'm gonna produce him too. I've been waiting for him to leave Def Jam so we can get our right shit going. So we're gonna you know, move on to keeping Dre and all of those guys. Oh, fuck, dude, I lost track again.
Talking about Doggy Style.
Yes. So what was I saying exactly about Doggy Style?
Snoop. So Snoop.
Oh yeah. He had jumped up on the table. Yeah, it wasn't Doggy Style. It was when we met him. The motherfucker's busting. We're like, this cat is too dope, man. How are we gonna, you know? So Dre's like, come to the studio. They had a song they did. They came, and that's when G-Thang and 187 went down at the house. That was after. And I mean, dude, young Snoop. So trip this. We did them, and then Snoop got locked up. So he was calling a studio every day. Me and Dre was up at up at Solar, and he would call every day from was it Wayside? He was locked up somewhere in the county. Every day we get that call, we put him on speaker, let him hear what we do. We hear the beeping every minute. That such and such correctional facility, you know. But he's in there vibing with us in the studio over the phone, bro. He was so excited. He was 19, you know, 18, he got caught on some bullshit. You know, niggas trying to get their shit in the corners with the, you know, whatever. I don't know, allegedly. So, you know, his vibe, dude, is hit. Okay, I got Snoop, I got Corrupt, I got Rage, I got Daz, and I got the DLC in the corner teaching them all how to, and I'm sitting here watching like, this is amazing. This gonna be something. Yeah. So yeah, it was, but we had like the baddest rap ninjas on earth, and they're being taught by the baddest rap ninja on earth.
That's what I'm saying. You got the DLC just running the rap camp. Like, man, come on, man.
That's Dr. Dre, bro. That's the production thing I'm telling people about. They talk about producers, but look, that guy was smart enough to put them in a classroom and see what developed. That's production. Not who got the hottest beat. Anybody. The production starts after the beat. What the fuck?
That's what I was gonna say. Talk a little bit about the Dr. Dre process, because I mean, you know, you have, you know, people bring up the ghost producers and, you know, all these different types of things. But talk about his actual process and, you know, shit, just how he, you know, why he is Dr. Dre, why he's who he is, you know.
So the reason that I think people get this ghost producer term conflicted, I use it because I think it's cute, but I wasn't wearing a mask or a hood when I was in the studio with Dre. He didn't have me like in a room locked away where nobody could see me and I was a secret. You couldn't come in the studio. So you just heard what was outside the door. You can't look in the studio. So you don't know what's what. So Dre, his whole thing is, it's always been a developmental camp. I mean, it's teamwork. He taught me to work with other producers. You know, most producers, I'll be honest with you, I don't produce well with other producers. You know, very few. I have to transform myself from producer to mixer or engineer. See, I'm a recording engineer, I'm a mixer, I'm a producer, I'm a musician, and I'm also Pro Tools operator. I can master. I can just say, oh, you want this? I can be that. And I can be one without being the other. When I'm being a recording engineer, I'm not producing your track over here on my ass like these dudes be doing. Like, you know, you should put a little more hi-hat right there, add a little fuck, dude, I'm doing this, all right? So just do what I'm paying you to do. I thought of that. I don't like that. You know, until you tell me something I ain't thought of, I'll tell you what to tell me. Because you ain't gonna think ahead of me. If you are, you're the guy talking in the room, because I already know you're gonna tell me something. You know? So Dre is very, very good at letting you do what you do best and then taking that and enhancing it. And I didn't understand that until I did that. Yeah, working with Dre was a blessing. Taught me how to work with another man, you know, having mankind. You know how bulls are? We'll both clash and be like, fuck you then, and start fighting or something, because we're men, and that's what men do. But we learned how to not do that. And, you know, it's a lab, bro. Everything ain't dope. Matter of fact, most of it's not. Like, only 1% of what we did got out. And out of that, all of it wasn't dope. But we knew to cut that 99% out. Most people, SoundCloud is bad for that. It's the 99%.
Yeah.
And so all the music back. I mean, it's some dope shit in there, but I can get you a pile of roaches and you'll find a diamond in there or something, bro. You know, go through them roaches, you might find $1. I mean, it's roaches. So just, there's no oversight. There's nobody to say, come on, man, try better. Not that it's whack or it's not dope, but you could do that better. That's it. You could do that better.
Yeah. So you on a doggy style, you did the Doggy Dog World, right?
Yeah, okay, so like on Doggy Style, I like to tell people that I did all the bullet shots and all of the fucking hi-hats. I did a lot in there, bro. I worked on every track. We had a bunch of unfinished things too from other people that needed to be tightened up, and that's the other production side. We'll get shit from the Dog Pound or whoever, and it got to be tightened up. And we don't even put our names on there. We tweak it, make it better, and let them take the credit, and they run with it. Yeah, we the shit. Niggas don't even know how to mix. Don't know nothing about that. But them's my boys. They just, you know, cats need to fucking bow the fuck down and quit with that bullshit, trying to be what they not. Everybody ain't a legend. They not. Just because they was there in the picture don't mean that they was influential on the sound. They might have got some tracks in and all that. I mean, cats are really fucking this legacy shit up, man. Let's just roll, man. You know? Engineers trying to get credit because they mixed something when I could have I told you to turn the EQ down. You know, it's cool. Dre is a producer.
Talk a little bit about that, because that's a part of production. I mean, it's no slight to engineers, but if you're
getting to the studio is part of production, and I ain't trying to give no credit to the bus driver that I was riding. thanks, dog. Here's your fee. The cab driver brought me. The limo driver took me to the studio. A guy opened the door.
But you told him where to go, though. Yeah.
I'm going to give them all credit then. I mean, dude, I woke up this morning, so I start with God. Credit there. Everybody in between there and actually putting shit on tape, got to wait. I mean, hey, I remember I was telling my boy, I was talking to General Jeff, my homeboy, one of the founders. He's from Rodney and Joe Cooley. And so I was telling him, I was like, you know, a ghost producer is someone who actually had something they did and didn't get any credit for it. And he was like, yeah, you know, people get sounding boarded. And I'm like, no, bro. An idea that you talk to a guy about and he went and did it is not a ghost producer. It's not somebody taking your track that you made.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just, and it's nothing against it. It's terms. Like I'll do this thing called glossary of terms on my Facebook, just to explain, like engineer. If the engineer is turning knobs, he gets paid. First of all, he's paid by hour. So he getting his thing he's supposed to get. If he gets credit, that's either in addition to something you want to give them, that's fine. If they want to require it because they turning the knob, unless you're a guy whose name people go buy records because you turn the knob. You know, Bruce Swedeen will get that. You know, Dave Pensato will get that. Chris and Tom Lord Alge will get that. These are people whose names normal people know, and these are recording engineers. Those are the people they make a movie about. You understand what I mean? Chris the Glove can get that. Dr. Dre is known as one of the greatest mixers of all time now. You know, and I feel like I was influential in his development. And so, like Phil Jackson and Kobe Bryant, like Kobe gonna be Kobe. I didn't do it, but I helped him. Somebody else would have helped him, but it was me.
Yeah.
That's all that means. Like, I didn't do nothing for it, but I was there. So, you know, yeah, man. And I really think that, you know, honestly, if I could, I would get every person who says that Dre doesn't produce, line them up and give them 15 minutes in the studio. And I bet you when they came out with just 15 minutes, they'll have a completely different perspective. Remember that? I don't know if you ever been to Disneyland in LA. They had this thing called Journey Through Inner Space. And you used to pretend like you was in a cart driving through like laboratories and shit.
Yeah.
It would be like that. These people come through a glass tube, see Dr. Dre working, and go on out. And they don't have to interact or nothing. And I guarantee you, every fucking one of them will change the bullshit ass layman opinion from the backdoor armchair quarterbacks that ain't never even held a football, telling the quarterback how to throw it. I can say that. Dr. Dre can't say that. He got an image and he got all that shit. Me, I give a fuck. Quit talking shit about my dude. He's better than you.
Yeah.
No offense.
Yeah. So, okay. Moving past Doggy Style. So y'all go to do talk about how leaving Death Row and going over to Aftermath.
Okay, so remember when I said it was Crips and Bloods living together back in the days of happiness and holiness in the death row? Yeah. You could laugh at other people fighting and shit. So then when they turn to you, it becomes a different thing. So it became Chris the Glove is no longer, you know, something. Suge just decided that he wanted something. I wasn't signing on management deals. My record deal was with Atlantic. I got $350,000 from, I was moving around with impunity. I basically could do what I wanted because I was Dre's boy. You know, Dre's giving me, he buys a new house, he give me all the furniture from the old house. Believe me, it's too much furniture for my house. So it started to piss some people off. So at the end, we did this thing, we did a tour and we went to Japan. When we were in Japan, shit started falling apart to the tune of physical detriment to guys that were above that line I told you about. Shout out to my boy DJ Jam. He used to be the Okay, so Dre hit me and said, I want you to be my DJ on the road. And I'm like, no, I don't want to be no. I told Ice-T I didn't want to be no tour DJ. 1991, 8 years later, 7 years later, I still don't want to be no tour DJ. I can be your music director. Okay, we gonna do that. So I hired a DJ, my boy DJ Jam. I was like, you be the DJ. So in this particular instance, we did this show everywhere, and then we go to Hawaii, and we changed it up a little bit because he didn't want to do Bitches Ain't Shit for some reason. So I'm running the show through MPC 60s. I have 4 MPC 60s. Not the computer, none of that, because we wasn't cool. The vocals never synced up. It was a lot of work in a production. But I could play those things by hand, be on beat, play shit on start. He wanted to come out on stage and be like, it's like this and like that and like this, and the beat start. You can't just you'll fuck up if it's timing. You might miss it. So we practiced together. So as the DJ in Hawaii, he went to his, so this is the thing. When you DJ in New York and you're playing hot records, they want new music. When you DJ in Hawaii, they want to know the shit they know. You can't play the set from New York in Hawaii. Yeah. So that's what happened, and they start throwing shit. So that caused a problem because we don't get thrown at us. Booze and all that get hurled at us. So it was someone's birthday that night, and an altercation happened. They threw the whole cake onto my DJ boy. It was a ploy to get him in the bathroom because that's how they moved. They would throw the cake on you. You go to the bathroom, and 30 niggas run up in there.
Oh, shit.
So they threw the cake on him. He went to the bathroom laughing, thinking it was a joke. And my boy Heron came in and said, yo, you need to get your boy out of here. I happen to be washing my hands. He said, take him out. As a matter of fact, leave the island. I said, hey, Jam, let's roll. He didn't tell Jam that. He told me that. I said, let's roll, man. Fuck that cake shit, man. Let's just get out of here. We get out of there. Dude, by the skin of our teeth, man. They tore that place up looking for him. Dude, we went to our room. We were roommates and grabbed. I said, let's just go. We grabbed that shit and got on the first thing smoking. When we got to LA, that's when the shit jumped off with me. And they wanted me out of death row. And so then shit starts in on me. Coming to my house. I got a gate. If you drive down La Cienega, you will see my home and a big black gate about 15 feet tall. It's named the Suge Knight Gate. I bought that gate because them dudes came around my house and then circled it.
Oh, shit.
They was going to make me come out. Glove didn't come out. Police came. And then the gate went up. And so we had this altercation going. Suge threatened my life, blah, 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 back and forth. I haven't really told this story ever. And so I just
bought this was all from that one incident.
It stemmed from that and another. During that incident, we came home, and a buddy of mine that I thought at the time was in front of the house with us talking, me and my group members. And, you know, I always tell people how I feel. I've told you I don't give a fuck, right? So I was like, fuck that guy Suge, man. If he think he just gonna run us up in the ground and have us scared, we trying to get this is the record business. I was like, fuck Suge. I said it. Oh, my God. That, me saying fuck Suge, and they used the Dre thing with the furniture and the thing in Hawaii to try to come at me. But, you know, remember I told you I signed my deal with Harry-O? Right. So they found out why I signed that deal. When they came to my house, Harry-O sanctioned all that shit, the gate and the guys. Them guys came to my house. These guys that stayed with me for a week went up to death row and made them sign a check for $350,000 for Harry-O. They launched from my house. Most people don't know that. So, you know, I was not concerned with what Suge was doing. Heron, the one who helped us back in back in Hawaii, he ends up dead, shot up at a stop sign. Lip Dog ends up shot up at a gas station. This shit is like the mob, bro. Cats are getting shot up at gas stations and at their homes and at stop signs. Yeah. Death Row Records was real.
Yeah. So y'all go over to Aftermath. Y'all get the Aftermath.
Okay, so Death Row Records. That shit jumped off in a day too. My boy Big Bruce, rest in peace. He was a big deal in LA, and he owned a car wash on Crenshaw, helped a lot of cats in their lives. And he was in a nice big fat Blood and Crip area, border area. All the gangsters know Big Bruce. He taught Kempo karate, okay? That means he's a master. So that day, this is like the mob. Everything went down. Dre's gonna leave Aftermath. The word gets around. The night before, odd thing happened. The Century Club was a big club in LA, always hanging out. So Death Row shows up there. A couple of them cats with the chain, some of the security dudes, some Bloods, they up there fronting up. Big Bruce is up there buying buying drinks. Shout out to Pop Brothers. What up, man? My boy Professor Googs and Big Bro. So they're buying drinks. Bruce said, them dudes come in. This Death Row, nigga, we housing this bar. 5 or 6 of them. So he's like, hey, look, I'll buy y'all drinks. Death Row ain't buying this round. I'm buying it. Not being facetious or being an asshole, just letting them know. Okay, them cats want to mop up. I told you, he taught Kempo. I don't know if you know what Kempo is, but they call it the black man's karate. Okay. He was Steven Seagal. You ever seen Steven Seagal?
Yeah.
Remember the movies, how he would strike so fast?
Yeah.
That was Kempo. So imagine Steven Seagal in the club with black 6'5".
Oh, shit.
Man, he was beating the shit out. He took their chains and everything, beat them niggas down, 4 of them. Left the club, laughing, hopped in his Benz, threw some of the chains out the window, took 2 of them to the car wash. Suge Knight comes over to the car wash. This is the day all this shit happened, okay? Before this thing at the car wash, Suge has this meeting. Everybody at Death Row is in this meeting. He's letting everyone know that Dr. Dre left. Tupac is kind of leading the show, and Sam Snead is there, my boy. And Snead is an honest dude. He's like, I'm going to the meeting. They hit us. I'm like, I ain't going to that shit, man. Niggas tried to come out, man. Fuck that shit. Fuck that. So he's up in there being honest. He's an East Coast dude. He's going to the mob meeting. He's like, I disagree. And I'm going to let him know I'm a stand-up guy. Well, they took that shit all wrong and tried to, they took that and turned it into your video look like an East Coast video, nigga. And Tupac threw the first punch.
Oh, shit.
Beat the shit out of him really bad. I hate to put you out there, Sam. You know you my dude, but don't nobody ever tell your side. So they fucked him up and he left. He was like, you know what? He talked to Dre. Dre was like, hey, what do you expect anybody to do, bro? I can't control a mob. So they had talked and he left. Went to the East Coast and continued his career. You know, and similar things, similar stories, man. People were getting their asses. So Dre was like, you know what? On that day, that meeting, that after that fight, Suge goes to the car wash to retrieve his Death Row chains. Mistake. Bruce taught Kempo karate in the hood. So Suge goes on Crenshaw and 45th and says, you know, give me the shit. Bruce mopped him up and beat him under the fucking beds. Suge would not come out from under there. He would not come out from under the beds, bro. Dude was like, Suge kept saying, I'm looking at a dead man. I'm looking at a dead man. So Bruce just left. So Bruce was a dead man that night. Suge, somehow his words came to pass and Bruce was killed. But Bruce beat the shit out of them and that whole thing with that. So all of this happened in that same day. Dre decides, fuck this, he's out. Jimmy Iovine reaches out, shoots him something, and next thing I know, I get a call, hey, we got a new record company, you can come around, I know you left Death Row, and we don't have a name yet. And then it started up again, and it was beautiful over there, man. So much peace and harmony at Aftermath. It's still like that there to this day. Ha ha.
What's the deal, man?
Man, it's all love. It's all love.
Yeah, so Aftermath. We got Aftermath now.
Yes, sir. So we go here and we get this thing going where it's a better vibe. It's a comfortable situation. And, you know, we can be creative again without having to be, you know, killers or pretend to be killers or run from killers or anything with killers. I'll make music. No killers. They outside killing.
Yeah.
You know?
Anything with killers.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
I'll make music.
I go live and I can hear myself. Okay. So, you know, the cool thing about Aftermath, though, is that we got going and we got to be free from having to do gangster rap only. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, it was a thing where, you know, it's trippy if you want to do one thing and you can't do that thing. You know what I mean? It's right. Like, I got in this music business to do this and I'm doing this only. That's it.
Right.
You know, so, but yeah, man, Aftermath, we started developing R&B artists. We had Kim, we had Truth Hurts. Shout out to RC.
Wait, was Truth Hurts there from how early was she at Aftermath? Was she there like when y'all were doing the Aftermath compilation?
We were working with her for years, bro. All the artists. Kim was from back east. Truth Hurts was with us from back in the day, bro. It was like, now I'm an artist. She was a songwriter. She sang on everything. You know, we always worked. So, yeah, she wasn't an actual Aftermath artist at that point, but then she signed a little bit later and kept pushing. It was all about, hey, you dope. We just gonna keep pressing that. Come sign with us. So, you know, we even were gonna sign Dawn Robinson from En Vogue. What happened was literally she was gonna do it $1 million the whole shot, but we wanted her to be that round the way street girl more so. And she really wasn't into that.
She coming from En Vogue. She ain't really want to go there, right? Yeah.
She wanted to stay bougie. She didn't want to be the little ghetto, our little ghetto version of Mary J. Blige, but better.
Yeah.
So it was cool though.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. That Don, man, that would have been dope though. Talk about the firm situation.
Yeah. Oh, I think you're solid. There you go. Don actually did a song on what up, DP? Shout out to LA Posse and DP, producer of LL Cool J. I'm back. He's the cop actually too. DP is the cop voice. So she was gonna be like we did the firm album. All of that stuff with Dawn was within that time frame. Like she got the Firm Biz song because we was about to sign her. You know. That's
her on Firm Biz?
That's Dawn Robinson.
Damn.
Yeah, so I got her on the song called Zoom. I got a version with her, Snoop, and Dre. And even Snoop said, well, how come Dawn sound like all of En Vogue by herself? Shout out to Snoop Dogg. What's up, my nigga? So, yeah, man, the whole Aftermath thing, let me tell you, it was like freedom and starting over again. You know, we were able to just create music, bro. And now over there, it's like a doctorate think tank. Some of the greatest producers I've ever seen are over there. We got specialists to no end. Focus, my boy Focus 3 Dots, my boy Dim Joints, Fred Reck. These guys are masters at their crafts. And Dre's got them, you know, and me at his disposal. Like, bro, you talk about being a Merlin the magician, and you got the best magicians on earth with you. Come on, man. So that's how music is, man. It's magic. People don't understand that, and so they approach it the wrong way. Like I got a joint out right now I just dropped called Dim Women Hot with my boy Vigilante. It's a Jamaican dancehall type thing with Steve Arrington beat. Nobody can be you but you. It bumps in the club, so you just put something else on it hot and it goes. And it's going. But, you know, I'm just an independent guy and the little record's going. If I had that kind of resources, you would have heard my record by now. It just came out Monday. Yeah. So, you know, being a beast like Dr. Dre and being able to go through multiple record labels is just awesome.
Yeah. So y'all did man, talk about 2001, about working on 2001.
So that was a trip, right?
Because you did Explosive, right?
Yeah, but okay, so this is what's dope. We started on 2001 right after M's record, right around the same time-ish. Remember I told you we do projects kind of together. So when we were doing, Dre played me, I got sick. So I wasn't really coming around Aftermath as much. And Dre had done, let me think. When we did, when we were doing 2001, that was
around the time of Eminem's second album.
Yeah, so that was around the time of, he was on that record.
Yeah.
So when we did what's the one with David Axelrod? Da-da-da-da-da. It's the motherfucking deal.
Next episode. Yeah.
Next episode, y'all, that was done in Larrabee off Santa Monica. So yeah, when we were working on that, man, that was a good vibe too. But like when I did Explosive, I did that for King T. So Explosive and Hello, those beats were done in Reno on another project. But then they were revamped. You know, I told you we use 99% of shit we don't use. Well, he was going through and like somebody was like, that's hot. And we wasn't putting out the King T record. It was like True Hurts. You got a record deal. Let's pick a record out. So he grabbed them joints and, you know, they went. Explosive. I didn't go in the sessions on. I was only in next episode recording session. Everything else, I wasn't even around for that because I had got sick and I was starting to pull myself away from Aftermath because I had a few things I wasn't happy with there. That's all. So, but I tell you, man.
Were you credited for Explosive?
No.
Okay.
Okay, so like I got an agreement and a contract and all that. And every musician I used is credited on the record. But me particularly, I'm not credited. But I actually wrote the track.
Mm.
So it's cool though, bro. I mean, all that shit's in the, you know, that was back then. It was a law thing. My attorneys and stuff. It all get worked out. Explosive's been sampled 50 times.
Yeah.
So you know, there's some things there. It's all good. Then there's Doggy Dog World, which is another one that I did with him. That was multiply, you know, us together, and you know, a writing thing, and a lot of things happened from that. Hell, man, Explosive really, like, that's Kanye West claims that that's what resurrected his career. And I've heard 9 songs, 4 of them platinum with that beat.
Yeah.
So, you know,
So with
there's some,
Explosive, you did the whole track, drums, all that.
well, yeah, I wrote the music. I played everything on there except for, no, I played all the parts. Except I didn't play the bass and the guitar. But this is what happened. When I was doing the loop, I was like, you know what, man? We need to do something like this. I did the drums, I did that, and then the bass line. I was like, we need to play the bass and the guitar. So I said, let me call Colin, and we flew him in to Reno from LA to play on these. Because that was my bass player. I had to have him on the shit I do, you know. So, you know, yeah, it was those were done. Hello, the same. Now, Hello, yeah, I played all those parts too. I mean, Dre does, but like I said, producing starts after the beat. So, you know, yeah, I did those songs. I did the music. You know, I composed them, played most of the parts, if all, not all. Pretty much 99% I played. If anything else is on, like a phone tap, a keyboard part and some sound effects came in after. I didn't mix that. Dre mixed that. And he added that. I was still in Florida. But, you know, yeah, man, it was an interesting group of years working with him over there.
Hey, wait, and you did the voice box on What's My Name, right?
Yeah, so that's a trippy thing. Me and shout out to Emmanuel Dean. He did not like that name. Rest in peace. Emmanuel Dean, we grabbed him. That's Daz's cousin. The first day we started working. So we originally, Don't Stop the Music was the beat we was doing that day. And so we was doing, that was going to be Snoop's first single. What's My Name with Don't Stop the Music. And as we did that, we finished that. Emmanuel Dean played all that stuff, what I didn't play. And then we went on to What's My Name. He wanted to do George Clinton, Atomic Dog, kind of. And Emmanuel Dean played the part, and I had the tube, and I'm the mouth. I was doing all this, you know how you do a talk box. We had it in 2 places. He was in the control room, and I was in the booth. Like, we hadn't worked with Roger yet.
Yeah.
So we hadn't figured it out yet. Sorry about that, y'all, on my Facebook. Y'all was looking at my Christmas decorations. So, yeah, man, that shit was way crazy. But, yeah, I did that. I did a bunch of, let me think of the little things I did. Like, I played all the, This Is for the G's and Hustlers. I did all hi-hats and all of that stuff. All of the things that I do, I played a tape. We didn't do no sequencing. Like, those hi-hats, I had to play them on beat to the tape, like a drummer. And then the, you know, gunshots everywhere, all the sound effects, me and Dre pull them together, and all of the mixing and all of the different, we fixed on a bunch of stuff. We did this is for the G's and this is for the us. We had to reproduce a lot of shit.
What
Yeah,
about talk about California Love?
Oh man, California Love was a trippy thing too. So I fell into that. Like, Dre used to have shit that was done when I would go up in the studio, like, where the hell did this come from? And that's where the ghost producer shit comes, the stories, right? I'm like, what's this? And then so I go to his house, right? He's having parties all the time and shit. He's like, come to the house. So I go to the spot, and he's you know, he's in the back playing California Love, the track. He's like, look, I flipped this. I'm gonna get Manny Moore and Jack to come in and lay these horns. I was listening to the Knick Knack Paddywhack, the sample, right? But with our drums in it and shit. So I was like, oh, this is hot, bro. You should let me put something on this. He's like, yeah, for sure. What you got? So then he plays the track, and then I add this little keyboard part, right? That's all I could come up with. I had a little chord. So I dropped that shit all the way through, right? And then he's like, okay, the horn players come and they lay their part. So I go in the back and make a sandwich. I'm in the sandwich. Here come Tupac. Hey, you want to hit this blunt? I'm like, yeah, let me hit that. So I hit it. I hand it back. I'm wondering, it's a party, so I guess he just here. I say, you want some of this sandwich? I'm making him. He's like, no, I'm good. So then I go back. And when I get back in the studio, this motherfucker's rapping, bro. I'm like, what the fuck happened? Dre like, man, Pac showed up and said he wanted to get down. Now it's not. It was gonna be his first single on his next record. Now it's Tupac's record. I went to the kitchen, bro. It was Dre's record. I came back and Tupac was on it, finishing up. Like, dude, he did that shit from the time I gave him offered the sandwich. It couldn't have been 20 minutes, and he was doing doubles when I walked in.
Did you do any other records with Pac?
No, that's the only time I ever actually was in a room with Tupac.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So what was the last thing that you worked on with Drake?
You mean what are we working on now?
I'm just asking, man. It could be now, it could be whenever.
The last thing I worked on with him was a couple of days ago.
Okay.
But yeah, we're still these days I'm more of a sounding board. Remember I used that term earlier? We've always trusted each other's opinions, so he runs a gang of shit by me, plays stuff. I'm not beat making for Dre, so I don't want to be even considered in that conversation. If I'm going over and with Dr. Dre, I got my own shit, or he got me a label, or I'm there assisting him like I normally did. But we've been working on some secret projects. The last thing that was released that we did together commercially was Explosive. Yeah, but I've been working with him ever since, and we got some shit coming. He got some pet projects he's working on. I'm gonna, keep his privacy how he likes. He's got some things that will be, if I said it, the numbers will go up on your live, and they're totally dope. But he's a private dude. I mean, and it's dope because he's like, I was like, man, you need to let me do a TV show and bring the cameras in so people can see. You produce. I'm always his proponent. Like, bro, everybody talking that shit, and he's like, man, look. I don't care what they say, bro. And I don't want nobody to know about the magic that happens here. I don't want no cameras in here. They don't need to know. And I was like, you know what? The mystery remains, and we're going to keep that. I'm not doing no cameras in there to see what we did. I'll tell some little anecdotes of what we did, but nobody's going to really ever know.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what's up, man. So, okay. What's next for you? I know you're back DJing, right?
Oh yeah, I started back DJing about 2013. I decided to start back. It took me till 2017 to get my actual gear up right. You know what I mean? Because it was so many technological changes. But now, I'm back spinning, and I got a radio show on Fridays 2 to 4 on Delicious Vinyl Radio, the Record Shop. I hold a gathering of DJs. All my homies turn out to be legendary DJs. I got these old school cats. I got DJ Pooh. I got DOC. All these guys coming to my spot and hanging. Battle Cat, Egyptian Lover. They come and perform. And it's just for the people, bro. It's free, and it's the pizza spot. We just want LA hip hop to be seen. We need a place where people can come and say, I experienced LA hip hop. Them dudes was over there eating a pizza. That guy took a picture with me. Oh, look, there's my favorite rapper of all time. Hanging on the wall. I even hang my platinum plaques there. I don't even have them in my house. I put them at Delicious. That's where hip hop should live, in LA. We don't got nobody else that has anything like that. And then I'm doing, I also have my Baseline Sundays, which is like a sample grab for cats. If you're into listening to Dirty Dusties or old school or whatever, I play that on Sundays and replay on Wednesdays. I'm going to go on about 3 o'clock on Facebook.
Nice. Yeah, it's a lot been going on online, man. What do you think about the versus battles, man? It's been going on. Be keeping up with that?
Yeah, the one I did, I didn't see the premiere one, but I did try to watch the Babyface one both times, and I thought it was very cool. But I thought that the first thing Babyface and they tried to do was good too. He wanted to perform and all that. It was a good idea, but if he had just used his phone like we're doing, it'd have been fine. No delay.
Yeah.
Well, since he was trying to stream on multiple formats with multiple devices and he got too much money, he had a staff of 20 people in there. This shit was fucked up. But I told people when they were making those jokes, the first thing I said, y'all are making jokes while Babyface and Teddy Riley's streams are doubling. And there was no proof of that. But I said that. And guess what they started calling it? The Versus Effect.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, I'm looking forward to the Erykah Badu one because I got a song in there. I know she's going to drop Bag Lady.
Yeah. That'll be dope. So, okay, you know, everybody's talking about, you know, somebody battling Dre. Do you think, I don't think anybody could battle him. Who do you think could battle him, if anybody could battle him? Because they were saying Puff, but I don't really know if Puff could battle Dre like that. Dre has, I mean, 4 or 5 decades of hits.
Dre got ghost producers that can battle people that have, dude, I know guys that work with Dre that could go up against Babyface and Teddy Riley. Okay. Dre's offshoots are great. Some of them. You got Scott Storch out there. You know what I'm saying? He was in the Roots. You know, you got Colin Wolf. People don't know Colin produced all them shits with Dallas Austin. Anybody remember all that Dallas Austin stuff and Another Bad Creation? And I mean, bro, Monica. I mean, dude, Colin could battle Babyface almost. The thing about Babyface and Teddy Riley is that they have extensive catalogs. So they got so many hits. But Dre, they would have to take both of them and add Quincy Jones to go up with Dre. Like, because Quincy is great, but he got like his super great known commercial accomplishments. He only got a few that you know. Mostly what? I tell you, Quincy Jones, you're going to say Michael Jackson. So that's pretty much his battle. He going to bring all that greatness that he did, but he going to win with Michael Jackson. You take Michael Jackson, you can go up against Drake and go up against Michael Jackson. Think about that. Michael Jackson would smash him because he got a gang of songs, but Drake got as many songs because you know what Drake can bring while he's battling Michael Jackson? He can bring 50 Cent. He can bring Eminem. He can bring a lot. I skipped over Snoop and all of that, okay? That's obvious. I mean, he can bring so much prowess. Like Puff ain't got nobody that sold 10 million albums except Big, and Big is rest in peace. He can't even bring Big. Like, he can play his records, but he can't bring them out and say, hey, y'all, my man Puff. You know, and Dre got some of them rest in pieces too, because he got Eazy-E hits. Yeah. Man, please, man.
And the Tupac.
Puffy ain't got enough records, bro. Hey, we got X to that. We got motherfucking RBX on this thing. He's on my live.
RBX? Oh shit.
Yeah. Shout out to RBX. He's on my Facebook live. But I tell you, man, it's something. It's not something that people want to take lightly. Like Puffy really need to go look at his catalog and put him on a whiteboard and take Dre's name and put a circle and an X through it, because you'll never get to that Mecca. Okay? You need to battle like look at Babyface and Teddy. Can you top them? Because Dre can. Teddy played a Dre song in his battle. That song, Blackstreet.
Yeah. What was the story with that? Because it was supposed to be something with like Toss It Up, and like it was what was the deal with that? Wasn't there something like Teddy Riley was supposed to be something with Tupac, or like that whole thing got mixed up when Dre left Death Row or something like that?
Yeah, I don't know about none of that. We was at Aftermath.
Okay,
right?
well,
we
was
I'm at wrong. Aftermath. No. You're probably right, but I'm gonna tell you what happened. We was at Aftermath when this shit went down, and me and Dre went into work, and he said, "Shit, I gotta do this vocal on this thing, man." Listen, he was playing it and doing the rap. So, you know, I produced his vocal on that Blackstreet song. I recorded it and produced with him. Most people don't know. It's going down, Fade to Blackstreet. The homies got at me, collab creation, bump like acting, no doubt. Yeah, I recorded that.
Man, that's what's up.
Like, it be people working on shit that are legends, other legends that you don't never even know. Like, nobody knows I laid those vocals and produced that part with Dre, which producing Dre is like not doing nothing but hitting record. I said do it again, like, just because. I was like, you want to do it again?
Yeah.
It wasn't like, do it again. You know, oh, I need more energy. It was like, you want to do that again? I mean, it sounds dope. We got like 3 versions, then we mixed it. So, you know, that's what I like about working with Dre. We can help other people's productions get better. It's not a buck stops here and that's it.
Yeah. Well, that's what's up, man. Well, this has been dope, man. I appreciate you taking the time out to chop it up with me, man.
Man, for sure, man. I appreciate you, bro. It came together quick too, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but you housing, man. You got a good following. You got a nice number of people watch. Probably had a couple hundred people come through here, 25 at a time. Nice work, brother.
Man, I appreciate it, man.
Anytime you need me or hit me if you need some of my folks, they listening. I got people I can access, man. If I can help, I will, man. I appreciate you all day, young man. You're definitely
Man,
a breath of fresh air. Trying to ask is how old are you?
I'm 35.
Dude, you look like you're 15 and you asking about my music. And you're 35.
Yeah,
Who 35 cares about this shit? I love you for that.
man, appreciate it, man. Well, you know that whole death row. Like G Funk is probably my favorite musical era. You know what I mean? Next to like New Jack Swing and stuff like that. But G Funk is probably my favorite. And like the Nothing But a G Thing and like all that. That's like childhood soundtrack shit for me. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, that's dope that I was in the world when you were born. My music was already here and you were born into it and you got to hear my music from birth.
yeah,
Like I feel that way about a lot of groups. Like I thank God that they were my soundtrack, like Earth, Wind and Fire and this shit that came up only during my time frame. Like these kids didn't get to hear the new Earth, Wind and Fire and get goosebumps when Let's Groove came on, but I did.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like I was saying, and we could talk about this. Like the first time I heard Gin and Juice, I saw the video for Gin and Juice, and that was at your house, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's at my house. I'm live there right now.
Oh man,
Yes,
talk
sir.
about that. How that even came together with them even doing that, because that's a legendary video, man.
Man, and it's funny because I think that because of that video and because of what we were and because that the Chronic is now in the Library of Congress and I was instrumental in working on it, I'm going to get a plaque outside of my house that says this is one of those spots. This is a hip hop spot, bro. I started hip hop here in the 70s and 80s or late 70s. I'm DJing and I got all these Evil E and Hen G and these DJs as kids listening to me. So, yeah, that thing happened like this. We were shooting that video in another part of town. And those Bloods and Crips getting together and being happy didn't work. Them fools was blasted in the house. They was like, damn, my boy Ben Bazmore, shout out to Baz. He produced and directed the video with Dre. He was at wit's end trying to find a place. So I had a house in Ladera. We live in Ladera Heights, right? We don't look like the hood, but he was like, look, we could shoot these streets and just shoot the inside out of your house and just a close up on the outside. And it'll look like what we wanted. And I was like, well, okay, cool. And then what I did was I went to my mom, I told you, your mom will back you up, right? People be scared to ask. I was like, hey, mom, I want to shoot a video in the house, but they gonna pay. Man, she was like, get your money, baby. She was in Atlanta. So I didn't tell anybody I got permission. She told me what to do. Go make a little newsletter, put it in all the mailboxes around the neighborhood, let the guys know, and let the police know, and you'll be cool. And so I did all that, but I didn't tell them. So everybody thought that I was, this is my whole get down. Look illegal, but be compliant. Yeah. So you looking like you got a crack house, but when the cops show up, you pull out a permit to sell crack. Like that kind of shit. So everybody thought I was doing it, but yeah, moms gave me the thumbs up to do it. And so my boy Baz was like, yo, we can shoot there. I was like, yeah. So I was, me and my boys in the group Hoboken Lonely, they was, my boy Mike Lynn was my roommate. So we just let him come on in and nigga shot that shit. And it's funny because I've had 3 parties at that house that were just like that. Man. So the neighbors knew that they were used to having me have big groups of people over the years. But, I've been living in a house for 45 years. So they watched me grow up and the neighbors, are the same, basically. So it was a funny thing, man. It was a crazy thing, bro. It was so many police. This is the thing. Where I live where there's LAPD, the sheriff, and Culver City all together. If you call 911, nobody comes. Because they all think the other one's coming. Yeah. So they were getting away with so much dirt, bro. And then the sheriff showed up, finally. Because my neighbors was calling the cops because the rolling 60s had come down to the hood. And they was on some shit. And Suge and them Bloods was on some shit. And it was finna be some shit. I was telling niggas with guns like, man, just put that away, man. We don't want no trouble here, man. Come on, dog. This is your street. I'm just talking them down, de-escalating. What up, RC? I was telling them about the video, man, when we were shooting Gin and Juice. and most of them cats, you know, they were all killers on both sides. But you know, nobody got killed that day.
T Gray, what up? I see my boy T Gray just jumped in here.
Oh, T Green. Is that your boy T Green or my boy T Green?
No, my boy T Gray, DJ T Gray.
Oh, okay. Well, tell him I said hello. So yeah, man, it was and then the other places that we recorded, like that drive-in movie theater, those are like landmarks of my youth. They've been since destroyed. You know, that drive-in theater is now the Ladera, some apartment complex back there. You know, it ain't even so it's all so different now. But yeah, man, those times, bruh, you couldn't tell us nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said,
we
man,
had to
that's the soundtrack to my Go ahead.
The Wet and Wild parties, you might not have heard of those. The Ruthless had the Eazy-E and Dr. Dre Wet and Wild parties.
The pool party.
Yeah, me and my boy Dave gave those parties. I DJ'd those parties. Yeah, that was part of the legend. Those were some psychic ass way out parties, bro. I could tell you off stories about yes, man. Sir. But I really appreciate you having me, man. This shit here, man, going down memory lane like crazy. You let me cut loose.
Yeah, nah, this was good, man. This was really good. But yeah, we'll be in touch, man. And again, man, I appreciate you taking time out, man, to chop it up.
Man, for sure, man. You know, I got my little turntables, my little, y'all don't go too far without my little drum machine and shit. Gotta keep working. Oh, for the people on Facebook, I'm still working. Yeah, man. But everybody go out and follow. I'm Donnie Houston. All my people in his podcast. He's hot. I'm gonna get Jay Williams. I'm gonna get you on there. I got all kind of my boys are legends, all of them, bro. I got people with podcasts.
Oh yeah, we gotta make that connection for sure.
Yeah, I got you, man. Andy McNeil, shout out to Andy. Shout out to John Bromfield. He watching on both formats. Simon Brandon. So yeah, let me know too. I want to talk to you, man, because I might want to do a little takeover on your Instagram for some DJing sometime. Let me know.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, for sure. This is the time now. It's some things happening. I'm doing something with the Art of Rap in a couple of weeks, and I'm going to start a new interview series with them. It's going to be Christy Glove Presents the Art of Rap, the interview. Doing the first interview is going to be my boy Daryl Pierce, who's my partner on the show.
Nice.
You don't even know that. That's news for him. Dun, 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 dun. All right, Joe. We gonna be out of here, man. I appreciate your time, though, man. I'm gonna let my Facebook folks go, man. I'm gonna check y'all out later. And
right,
thank you, my man.
All right, bro.